I'd like to call to order the City of Canyon Falls City Council meeting October 21st. Roll call.
Diane Johnson.
Here.
Zimmerman.
Here.
Chad Johnson. Here. Jepson.
Here.
Novak absent. Cronenberger.
Here.
And Montgomery absent.
Okay. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I get an approval of the agenda, please?
So moved.
Second. First by Jepson and a second by Johnson. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Okay, public input. Public input is intended to afford the public an opportunity to address concerns to the City Council. The public input will be no longer than 30 minutes in total length, and each speaker will have no more than 3 minutes to speak. Speakers may address topics relevant to the governance of the city. Speakers must sign up in advance, must provide their name, address, and topic they intend to address. Comments must be on topic, respectful, pertinent to city business, and adhere to the applicable data privacy rules. Any speaker that violates these rules will be asked to sit down, and if the speaker refuses to comply, they may be removed from the meeting. Speakers shall not address topics that are subject to a public hearing. All such comments shall be made at the public hearing. The City Council will not generally act on issues raised by the public during public input, but may choose to schedule consideration of the item on a future agenda. All right. Jason Reed.
That's what I get for getting here early. Good evening. Thank you for allowing us all to speak here tonight. My name is Jason Reed. My family and I are Canyon Falls residents. I have worked on electrical construction sites for 25 years, everything from houses, condos, commercial, education, government, medical, and currently on a data center project in Rosemount. I just want to highlight a few of my experiences with the data centers. They are really good construction projects to work on. There's a real sense of we're too small. There's a real sense of pride to complete a project that size. People from all over the country talk about these projects in a good way. This project would help families of workers from many states, especially Minnesota. This project will provide opportunity for many to make their lives better. It would provide direction for many right out of high school. These projects can employ up to 1,200 people. All the construction projects that I have worked on try to spend as much money locally as they can. The local suppliers are a huge part of these projects. People need to eat. There's food trucks, catered lunches are very common. The more local, the better. The future is bright, and you have my support. Thank you.
Thank you. I am going to butcher the last name, Jason Schneider. Sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry. Very tiny.
No, it's sorry. No, good evening. Not a professional speaker either, and I also work on the data center in Rosemount. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you on the proposed data center here in Canyon Falls. I just want to take a minute to speak up for the thousands of workers that these projects provide for. My name is Jason Siebenaller. I grew up just outside of New Trier. I'm currently working at the data center here in Rosemount on Highway 42 as a professional carpenter foreman. I was trying to think of what I wanted to say, and I figured out last night that I've worked in 14 states in the last 31-year career. I want to take a few minutes to share why this project matters. It's not just to me, but to our broader community. This is not just another construction project. What we're looking at is 2 to 3 years of steady work right here at home. It's significant. It's a large-scale job site that doesn't come around often. And having one close to home means a lot for our working families like mine. Thousands of working families. Many of us are in the trades, electricians, carpenters, pipe fitters, plumbers, operators, and more. This project offers meaningful, well-paying, high-paying, substantial amount of work for a substantial amount of time right here at home. We're talking about more than 1,000 field employees, and not to mention a wide variety of on-site management that supports our field employees. Besides the field employees, the Rosemount plan included a setup of main office on site, approximately 22 trailer houses wide, with 50 additional trailer offices to support the operations. I believe there's 76 support trailers on site. That means even more local jobs and opportunities. Superintendents, safety managers, project managers, accountants, cleaning crews, snow plowing crews, lots of subcontractors, lawn care engineers, security, and lots of them that I forget. And then beyond the construction phase, I heard at the job site there'd be 200 permanent jobs that stay on site, jobs that stay in the area long after the building is complete. For my 31 years of experience, 15 of the years as a superintendent, my experience, once the anchor company moves in, other smaller companies will follow, which in turn creates more construction jobs and opportunities. That's not just good news for the workers, it's good news for the entire community. When we work close to home, we can be at home with our families, we rent rooms, we stay at local hotels, eat at local restaurants, shop at local stores, and short, we spend our money in this community. This project is an investment in our workforce, our economy, and the community. Again, thank you for the time to let me speak, and I hope you support the initiative. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Next I have Jason George.
Jason, number 3. Thank you very much. I want to echo much of what my fellow Jason just said, and just highlight.
Addresses where these people are from. Aren't they supposed to live here?
Yeah.
I am Jason George. I am from St. Paul, Minnesota. I work for Ames Construction, which is headquartered in Burnsville, Minnesota, and we built a lot of your roads in this area, I believe, and we build a lot of data centers. That's why I'm here tonight. Just want to talk about the family aspect of the jobs that Jason highlighted. Heavy civil construction is what we do, and that means travel for a lot of the workers. We have a lot of members, Minnesota workers right now in other states. A job like this is an opportunity for them to come home. I think you heard from Jason really well. I know, thousands of these workers myself. I used to run the 49ers union and get elected by them and represent them. The opportunity to come home and work in their own area is a huge opportunity for them, and it means a tremendous amount to their families and their kids. They get to go to the game at night, they get to go home and sleep in their own bed. It's a rarity in this industry, and I hope that you all will take advantage of this opportunity and create this big construction project so people can come back home and work in the area. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next I have Nora Felton.
Thank you for your time again. I just have a few quick questions.
Can we just ask everybody to give name and address?
Oh, Nora Felton.
You forgot that for the first two.
I know.
Can we say that to them? Because I'd like to highlight that they don't live here. You said New Trier. That's not here.
I live in Campbell.
This does not count on my time. Nora Felton, I live at 33079 County 24 Boulevard, Cannon Falls. I farm over in the Randolph Flats. My questions are the tax revenue. You realize the land is still in Dakota County. Dakota County is not going to give up their tax revenue, so the idea that you're going to get all $30 million in tax revenue is kind of a question. I actually have people working on that. You guys should probably check that out yourself. I really appreciate our construction workers and the unions. However, after 2 or 3 years are over, you guys will be long gone, and whether or not we have water and electricity probably won't affect you. I noticed that there was a letter to the editor article in April whereby the Public Works Director was asked whether or not the city sewer and water was prepared to take on the needs of the new data center. The answer was no. I am concerned about the November 6th drop dead date as being the time in which this needs to be approved. I'm wondering, the rumors have it that you don't need that you absolutely have to have a no vote, because if you just don't have any vote come up at all, it will go through as being approved. And I'm wondering how that came about and who engineered that. I'm questioning the 250 permanent jobs when any of the research I've done online has said that most of these data centers can be maintained, depending on square footage, usually by 2 to 3 people. That's far from your 250 permanent jobs. We are sitting in Goodhue County. The land has been annexed to the city. However, the counties don't change, so I'm not really sure about the metro area housing and the metro area transportation tax. Again, I am very concerned about the fact that I don't see how or why the water use can't be reused using some of the new technology, and at the very least have it treated to so that it could be put in and recharge our aquifer. And I just want you to remember that I've checked out with the state agencies and I've worked with them before, and while the council may feel that your state agencies, your PUC, your DNR, your soil and water are your backdrop, that in case somehow or another you didn't get all the information, that somehow they're going to come in their white knight clothing and save the day, this will be on you, and it will be on you for the rest of the life of this area. So please take your decisions, and at the very least, if you could slow this process down so we all had a chance to read through all the material and see what has happened on the East Coast and in all these places that have rejected the same kind of a build out. Thank you.
Next, I have Dallas Larson.
Yeah, I'm Dallas Larson, 409 Ridgecrest Drive, Cannon Falls. Several weeks ago, I was here to speak in favor of the data center. Since then, there appears to be a whole group of individuals organizing against the development. While I've read their arguments against the proposal, I don't find them very persuasive. They do raise some reasonable objections, and those I think can be handled through the development agreement. Those include water supply, noise, and light pollution. I met with your city administrator, and I'm satisfied the city has the opportunity to mitigate the potential problems by negotiating a strong development agreement with what appears to be a cooperative developer. I also made a suggestion to Mr. Rademacher that, and I'll offer that suggestion to you, that the city should consider sending a small delegation to visit a site where a similar facility has been built and has been operating for at least a couple of years, so that you can talk with that city and find out if there were any issues they found after feeling the actual operation, things that they might have missed or concerns they might have afterwards. And maybe talk to some of the adjacent properties to see whether their experience has been what was expected at the time. Better some extra research now than having regrets later. Another suggestion I made to your administrator is that you do not leave the noise issues to be enforced by MPCA. Figure out what the acceptable standards are now and build them into the development agreement with an escrow fund that can easily be accessed by the city in the event of violations that are not promptly addressed. Make the penalties significant and painful so that you get their attention and they can't ignore you. As I said last time, Cannon Falls has very high taxes and they seem to be increasing at an alarming rate. The school district is proposing a very large increase in their levy, and I see you approved a double-digit preliminary tax levy for next year. That's not a responsible levy in my opinion, but that's for another time. This proposed project has the potential to add tens of millions of dollars to the city tax base without significant increase in corresponding government services. I believe the project on balance is going to be very beneficial for Cannon Falls, and I support it.
Thank you. Anna Lundahl.
Good evening, council. I have here in my hand the signatures of over 500 people. Yes, I'm from Cannon Falls. I live on Oak Lane. There's over 500 people that have signed this petition from the Cannon Falls area that do not want this data center to be built. I just wanted to ask the council to consider why you haven't been listening to the voices of your constituents. Okay? Now, I have another article here that says that in areas where data centers have been built, electrical costs have gone up by over 200% in the last 5 years. So I have to ask you again, most of you live here in town. Are you not concerned about this? Are you not concerned about the impact that this is going to have on low-income residents that live in the city, myself included? I can't afford another utility bill increase. I just want to remind the council that you work for us, and we voted you in to represent our interests, not the interests of Tract, not the interests of big billionaire tech companies. You work for us. I want to remind everyone of that. And I want to make sure that you understand how important this is to us. All of these people here tonight, we have other important things we'd like to do, but we're all here because this is important to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Luke Lundell.
Luke Lundahl, Cannon Falls, over Oak Lane. My wife just spoke. I guess bottom line up front, obviously I'm 100% opposed to this data center going in. I bought my first home here back in the spring, and everything that I've worked for, I don't want to see pulled out from under me by 7, 8 individuals that decide that, oh, we can get a quick chunk of change to, fix some city utilities, and with no long-term plan for the future of how this is going to pan out. Everything that I've heard about this data center, it's all, well, we're going to bring 1,200, 1,500 jobs, whatever it is, construction. Well, that's a construction job. None of these are long-term. On the news article tonight, they said it could potentially bring 1,500 jobs over 10 years. Well, when it comes to construction jobs, that's nothing. That's completely inadequate and doesn't really move the bottom line as far as bringing jobs to this town. Secondly, we don't have an end user in mind, so we really don't even know what we're doing with this. If we're going to build this facility and then try and woo a big tech company to come in here and take this place, you can look online at all the different news articles about this. These companies don't get to have to pay all these taxes and boost the city tax base, and then the actual residents of the town pay less taxes. Like last time I checked, these places aren't moving in and funding the local school, and all the residents' taxes go down. The school stops asking for more money every year. None of this happens. Usually these places, we build this facility, now you gotta woo somebody in to actually take up this land and do something with it. Well, now we gotta go begging to these big tech companies, the Metas, the Alphabets, one of them to come in and take this. They're not just going to waltz in now and say, all right, yeah, we're gonna pay our fair share. No, now it's you gotta court me to come in and take this. You built this, now give us a good deal to come in. I don't see how this has any long-term benefit for this community whatsoever. All we're seeing is increased costs on the people that actually live here and plan on the future. We don't even know, say 10 years from now, if this whole AI thing takes a different direction, renders this thing useless. Now we're the residents sitting here holding the bag. When there's multiple cities here, Farmington, they're suing their city council because the council's not listening to the people. Pine Island, they're fighting it right now. They've got a council meeting tonight that they're going after them. Hermantown, the council ignored all the people there. They approved the zoning. They haven't moved forward yet on the actual done deal, but we all know where that's moving. Action needs to be taken by the city if the elected representatives are not going to do their job looking out for the best interests of the citizens. Thank you.
Samaya Speck.
It's Shemaya Speck,
Thank you.
and thank you very much. My name is Shemaya Speck. I live at 35591 County 25. And to be 100% transparent, I do work for the DNR. I am not here as a representative. I'm here as a citizen of Cannon Falls. I do not work with policy and planning. I do not work with ecological and water resources.
Can you please?
I'm sorry.
I can't hear. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
thought I was projecting enough. I also want to address the citizens of the town.
Of course.
To make sure that they fully know. I am the creative director for the agency, so I work with communication staff often. Dear Mayor and City Council members, I am writing and speaking as a concerned resident regarding the proposed tract data center and the recently approved AUAR. I appreciate the city's efforts to balance economic development with environmental oversight and long community planning. However, I would like to request clarification on 2 points. Does the AUAR contain enforceable mechanisms or conditions that limit the scale or scope of the data center project? In other words, in their language, in the AUAR, development agreements or zoning regulations that clearly prevents the project from growing beyond what the originally was reviewed, such as significant expansion in water use, energy demand, or physical footprint, without triggering further review. Scope creep is a real concern, particularly with projects like data centers, and can grow quickly. Without clear limits and thresholds, the environmental impacts could exceed what was originally evaluated in the AUAR. Will the city commit to requiring a full environmental impact statement, EIS, if tract proposes expansion beyond the AUAR's revised or reviewed scenarios or environmental assumptions? This would demonstrate that the city remains committed to the environmental due diligence even after the AUAR's approval. Community members and council member Diane Johnson, as quoted in the Beacon on August 12th, have expressed concerns that key environmental details were deferred to later stages. A commitment to requiring full further study if impacts change would help rebuild public trust. I respectfully ask the council and or the planning department to provide a public response to these concerns. Transparency and accountability are critical when overseeing projects of this magnitude, particularly when they impact multiple jurisdictions, school districts, and natural resources. Thank you. And thank all of you.
Thank you. Joshua Klein.
Good evening, Council. My name is Joshua Kalina. I'm a business representative for the Ironworkers Union, Ironworkers Local 512. I live in Faribault, Minnesota. I represent 6 members that live in your town and 15 others from the surrounding area. I am here on behalf to speak for the data center. We've heard a lot of good things from your community members, some of the women in the trades. My stitch was going to be a little bit different. I'm going to change that and just go off the cuff. The trades get hammered on for temporary jobs. We heard tonight about 1,500 temporary jobs and this thing. Well, believe it or not, those temporary jobs are always in your communities. They're in the surrounding area. They put my men and women to work. My daughter was a beneficiary of those temporary jobs. And that's what we do. That's what we do. We build things in the state. We make infrastructure better for the residents of these cities and towns, regions and districts. We like an opportunity to work in our home area because these data centers, they're not going away. They're just going to go somewhere else. And the people that live in your communities are going to move to those places to build them. This doesn't stop. It is what it is. We have an opportunity for something beneficial to our community that's going to raise the tax base and give future opportunities to your children moving down the road. Last month when I spoke here, I talked about Meta in Des Moines. When Meta came to Des Moines 10 years ago, they were going to put up 1 data center, right? 10 years later, they're still building out that project. It's a huge benefit to the men and women that work in that area. Their children growing up, that tax revenue goes back into the schools, it goes into your infrastructure, and it gives my daughter an opportunity to go to college. Because that's where she's at now. Because I make a good wage, and the people in these communities should as well. appreciate everybody's time coming here. But on behalf of my membership, I would hope that the council would approve these projects moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna struggle with this one. Ann Busemeyer?
Hi, my name is Ann Busemeyer. I live at 6658 296th Street East in Cannon Falls. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. Just to back up a little bit, I think this whole thing started out the wrong way. You know, it was advertised as a technology park when everybody knew it was a data center. And it was a little bit further down the road before they really started to talk about a data center in the technology park. And I just want to let you know that all business is not good business. And it feels like this is being done to the community, not with the community. And that's all I have to say tonight. And I hope that you listen to us, that you listen to your citizens. A petition with over 500, almost 600 signatures. Do not be a Hermantown. Listen to your citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mike Busemeyer.
I'm good.
Okay.
Redundant.
John Wilcox.
John Wilcox, 324 Colville Street West, Cannon Falls. I have some concerns about the data center as well. I appreciate much of the information that was provided here, but I have some questions about the particular aspects of the AUR. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. How this contract is pulled together, I have specific concerns based on my 46 plus years in the industry, broadcast industry, where we implemented, and my job was installing and maintaining. So I ran the gamut. I even at times purchased equipment. We saw computer equipment evolve from what it was 15, 20 years ago to some very small, high-speed, very noisy servers. I used to walk around in my server room, we called it our tech core, and I put a meter on my phone. Now, granted, that's not the best noise meter that's available, but it gave me a basic indication of what I was dealing with. It got to where I couldn't even hear myself think in that room, and so I didn't stay in that room very long. So I have concerns about noise issues. There are some concerns about air pollution. Generators, there's lots of generators that have to be used to maintain these facilities. There are specific articles that have been, and statistics that are proven as to the potential of rolling blackouts, and Minnesota is in one of the highest regions in the nation. I think it's rated at a zone 5 or something like that. Xcel Energy and other utility companies are way behind the curve. They were way behind the curve when EV vehicles were proposed. They're way behind the curve on the current data center boom, if you will. And data centers, yes, they're going to come, but the questions I have are, how are they going to come? Are we dealing with the water issues? Are we dealing with utilities? Are we dealing with the potential increased costs to consumers and tax base? There are other concerns I have. I'm going off the cuff here. My experience has been that things are only going to get noisier and noisier. Many of the videos and articles that I have read online, humans are being affected by the noise level. Children can't sleep, adults can't sleep. Animals are being affected by the noise level. And I will finish with the footprints, when these contracts, and I appreciate very much comments that were being made and questions that were being asked about what's in the contracts, will they have to come back to the table to be reviewed if they're going to grow? And every site that I've seen online has started out with one or two of these very good-sized buildings, and they soon doubled, quadrupled, or grew by tenfold. And it affected those populations surrounding those data centers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I restarted at 6:31. Did I have that timing right?
6:33.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry? Okay. Oops, I'm sorry. Tammy Reichs will be our last.
Do you want to say it right? Reichert.
If I knew how to pronounce it, I sure would. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. All right. I live here. So I live at York Street North, Cannon Falls. I'm a resident here. So let's go. In September, Goodhue County stated that they are going to be raising taxes by 6.5%. Cannon Falls is voting on a school referendum that will also raise taxes. In March, Dakota County Electric announced that they will be raising prices by 11%. Xcel Energy this month stated that they will be raising prices by 13.2% over the next 2 years. This despite a $2 billion profit last year. Between the year of 2023 and 2024, Minnesota car insurance prices jumped by 55%, almost double the nationwide average. Minnesota homeowners insurance are projected to rise this year by 15%. Bloomberg states energy costs, when looked at with a 5-year period over surrounding data centers by using different analyses of grid status and DC bytes, that energy costs go up by 80% within 3 years and 267% in 5 years. Now, then there's the NERC report. That states in January that MISO, our energy grid, is the only one out of 11 regions that is high risk for outages. High risk, and this was before there were data centers in place. Now let's talk about the AUAR. There's 38 pages of comment section in these pages. They state, it is not known at this time. Once a project is designed, it will be identified. As specific projects are identified, it will be determined. Further coordination with the DNR is needed if additional appropriations are needed. Further evaluation and designs will be completed prior to development to understand any potential constraints. Does any of that sound like a firm answer about what is going to go on in our city? We've heard a lot of lovely commentary from people who will make money from this data center. We have people that don't live here and are asking you to prove this because it will make them money. We have a city administrator who does not live here, so this will not affect him. And it will make him money. It won't make the rest of us money. It's going to, as I've listed all these things, hurt us. So why is it that they have so many questions and more questions and more questions that they cannot answer? Because Tract is not the end buyer. They don't live here. These people that came up and spoke in favor, with the exception of a couple, don't live here. If you say yes, that means they get more jobs, but then it hurts us with our tax money. And we didn't even talk about the long-term litigation in cities like Farmington, that the impacts on the wildlife, the decrease in home value for anyone up to a 5-mile bubble. We live here. We've got 500 names over that on that list. Can you look your neighbors in the eye? Can you? When you approve this? If you approve this, I hope you can look us all in the eye. And remember, we've been filling out petitions. We've been coming to these things. We've been filling out FOIA requests. So when it's time for re-election, you'll either say, thanks, and we stood up for you, or we'll know how to get you out.
Thank you. Okay, so moving to the consent agenda is what we have next. The consent agenda items may be adopted under one motion or presented, or may be removed for discussion and resolution as council business. A, just and correct claims accounting period ending October 15th, 2025. B, meeting minutes for October 7, 2025 city council minutes. C, approved 2026 police squad replacements. D, resolution 2832, approving a cooperative snow removal agreement with MnDOT. E, resolution 2833, accepting a $4,000 grant from Minnesota Energy Resources Cooperative. F, approve hiring of 3 volunteer firefighters. G, second reading and adoption of ordinance 411, an ordinance authorizing the sale of parcel number 5214000140. H, approve subscription to Record Ease with Goodhue County. I, resolution 2834, amending Turnkey Alley vacation. J, resolution 2835, approving rezoning from urban reserve to general industrial. K, resolution 2836, approving conditional use permit for data centers, data center substations, overhead transmission lines, and building height. L, resolution 2837, approving tract final planned unit development. M, resolution 2838, approving variances from city code section 152.153, J for tract. N, resolution 2839, approving preliminary plat for Cannon Falls Technology Park. O, resolution 2840, accepting of the small town grant of $1,000 from Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation. P, approve Goodhue County prosecution contract. Q, resolution 2841, amended preceding preliminary report and calling public hearing on 2026 street and utility improvements. Is there any the council would like to pull down?
Yes, I through N.
All right, N. And then become council business B.
I through N.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which ones did we just pull out?
I through N.
Okay. So that's 6. So that will become B, C, D, E, F, and G of council business. Okay. With the removal of I through N, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Diane, second by Lisa. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, council business A, comprehensive plan proposal.
All right, thank you, council. So tonight, I just wanted to make sure that it was brought to your attention. We received a proposal from CEDA for the comprehensive plan update for that will start in 2026. Excuse me, my file isn't pulling up. So with that proposal, we did only receive the one look. We asked for CEDA to give us a proposal to do help us assist us with the comprehensive plan update. CEDA, who also is our Laura Qualley, works for them, and we have contracted services for their community development services. But they have a whole nother set of employees and groups that do these comprehensive plan updates in other communities. One recently close by is they did with Pine Island and had reviewed that plan and had really positive feedback in the work that they did. I was excited about the opportunity that they have additionally for other engagement services for the community related to that work. And our plan, was last formally approved, I believe, in 2003. So it is long overdue for an update. So thank you. So with the proposal, And the additional costs, it's around $38,000. In our preliminary budget that we set aside for 2026, we budgeted $40,000, so we do have enough to cover the costs for this service. Additionally, there may be other things that we have and need, like related to the engineer for some technical information or data. I do believe that can be either covered within this agreement, or we can work to keep those costs around that $40,000 for the total project. So I was also encouraged that their projected plan for this work takes about 6 months, which I would expect it to be at least the minimum for this. Another comprehensive plan update that we took a couple years to do, but I'm excited for their plan, what they proposed in terms of the way that they're going to go about doing this. So I know Laura and Izzy and I met with Annie, and I was just thoroughly impressed with that work, so I wanted to make sure council knew about it, and we had a chance to express the need, because from the time that I started here, that has been one thing I've heard pretty consistently from a lot of the council members, is updating the comprehensive plan. And I think this is a very good proposal for us.
Any questions?
Of course. It looks like a very good contract, and I'm very excited about this process. Just a question, it mentioned a steering committee. What does that consist of? Or?
Usually it's around people that can help guide and engage, like help the people that are coming into our community, tell them, like, here's the people to talk to that are in this sector. Kind of helping to, I worked through this, we called it a strategic planning process, but our steering committee was made up of community members, but we helped guide our consultants to the areas and people to talk to. So we wanted to engage with youth in our community. So talk to the school, talk to the people that are advisors for these various clubs that have really active leaders and that are probably willing to engage and participate in stuff like this. Talk to, who do you connect with at the senior center in terms of getting in front of that organization? Who do you talk to that are involved with the service organization? Who do you talk to from the spiritual community? Various things like that. So that would be, from my experience, that was my working with the steering committee. Prior to that, they're not the ones dictating what's in there, but they're helping to guide and making sure the contacts with the folks of your community are made.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the comprehensive plan proposal?
So moved.
All right, motion by Ryan and a second by Diane. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Council Business B. Resolution 2834, amending Hernkey Alley vacation.
Can I get some more information on what the error was?
Yep, so previously it was approved, but it was approved without a survey by a licensed land surveyor. So it was approved with just an image of where the alley vacation would be. So to make it correct for recording with Goodhue County, we need a resolution with the legal description of the alley vacation. So we have a survey that shows the vacation and also includes the proper legal descriptions. That way we can get the alley recorded with Goodhue County, and so that it will run with the land and make it better for the city and the property owners as well down the line.
Who gets the property?
So it's split between equally among the abutting properties.
Okay.
So.
No other questions?
Okay, can I get a motion to approve Council Business B?
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion by Lisa and a second by Chad. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Council Business C, Resolution 2835, approving rezoning from urban reserve to general industrial.
I would like the council to really think about this one. There's houses that are right next to it. I don't think it should be industrial.
This unanimously passed the planning commission, is that correct?
Yes.
I believe so.
That's
yes.
correct, yes.
Rezoning did, yes. Trying to think, because of the 2 meetings, we did have items approved before, but yes, this one did.
Now, Planning Commission did unanimously recommend the rezoning.
I guess I don't really, if you're gonna build anywhere, there's gonna be something around it somewhere. And it's a 250-foot setback, they're talking about a lot more trees. It's just sounds a whole lot better than people are putting it out to be. I guess I don't have a problem with it. I understand that it's close to some people, but
And I would echo what Lisa's saying. I mean, I feel horrible for the people that have homes up there. And I think though, part of the problem is whenever you build in a township that doesn't have the zoning restrictions and there is the possibility of being annexed into a city, you always run that risk. And that, I think, is happening all over with cities expanding and they annex things that used to be, you know, country roads and everything else, and suddenly they become part of the city, and it's difficult.
Mayor, if I can add in.
Yeah.
So when we were discussing the annexation of this, we met with the township representatives. So we had the planning commission, the chair of the planning commission for the township was part of the conversations. The township supervisor chair was part of the conversations. Their attorney was part of the conversations. Their environmental consultant engineer was a part of the conversations as well. So they definitely expressed their concerns about us developing in this area and what sort of components of this could be built into to mitigate that. In our discussions, we discussed that the development application and the planned unit development that we have before us tonight would be a part of the process. We shared with them a lot of the recommendations that we had. I think we heard some requests for some additional things that were incorporated into the agreement as it stands today. So I think there was input that was heard and recognized on behalf of the township by the city for those changes. They definitely expressed concerns related to the water as well with the irrigation well that's on site and putting those terms into that development agreement additionally. So in our conversations with the township, that they did share with us their concerns, and ultimately in the process of the agreements that we have for the orderly annexation, that our addressing of those concerns met those folks' satisfaction. They then subsequently approved it as well.
Right, and my understanding is whatever was asked for, they received, and as well as what we are working on with the development agreement, they have gone above what we've asked for as a minimum, such as trees. We asked for a bigger, Chad, you just touched on it.
the tree line at 250-foot setback for the residential.
So everything that we've asked for has been addressed and gone above and beyond.
And whatever, say it's not the technology part, but if anything gets built out there, it's gonna be loud. It's gonna, and if there's trucks coming in and out, because say some other type of business goes there, that's gonna be loud too. I really don't have a problem with it, so just put that out there right now. Houses can go all around town, but they haven't been. They haven't for years. That's why the city had to get in with the EDA and just start with the Harbor Estates. Timber Ridge has been going up for years, and still hasn't been completed. We can still do the houses and the data center.
Any comments or thoughts, any additional, or can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve it. I'll second it.
So a motion to approve Council Business C by Chad and a second by Ryan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
So that's a 3-1. 4-1, can't count
You
today?
can vote.
Right, so 4-1, motion passes. Brings us to Council Business D, Resolution 2836, approving conditional use permit for data centers, data center substations, overhead transmission lines, and building height.
The recommendation from the planning commission on this one was 3-4 and 2 against. I spoke then against approving it, and I will speak again tonight against approving it. I do not believe the data center is in the best interest in the community. I do understand the lure of tax dollars and what they can help contribute to the community, and I appreciate that. And I certainly appreciate all of the people I've heard from, talked to, both in favor of this data center and opposed to it. But I've been torn by it, but my bottom line is I really am not able to support approving that conditional use.
You just don't like data centers. Like, nothing that we can really change. Kind of what you're saying, right?
I'm not saying yes or no, I'm saying that I think we could do better and have a more appropriate industry for our town. And I would really ask that we refrain from any displays like that, because we are a community, we have people passionately for it, passionately against it, and I think bottom line is, however we go, we will still continue to be neighbors, and hopefully we will still continue to care about one another. And that, I think, is the most important thing, is that we still be a community.
Any other thoughts or questions about this item? Can I get a motion to approve item D?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Ryan, a second by Chad. All in favor?
I'll ask for a roll call.
That's fine. I got it, Diane. Thank you. All in favor?
No, I think, doesn't roll call me, we have
Yeah,
to.
Sarah will call
Yes.
each council member for their vote.
Don't we usually do, once there's multiple nays?
If
then
she's
we do
asking
roll
for a
call?
roll call, we can do that in advance.
It's just a
Doesn't
little
have to be.
procedural thing, well.
Okay, sounds good.
Chad Johnson?
Here, so we're gonna vote for it.
Aye.
Novak absent. Cronenberger?
Aye.
Diane Johnson?
No.
Zimmerman?
Nay.
Okay, motion passes. Council Business E. Resolution 2837, approving tract final planned unit development. Thoughts or questions on this one?
Yeah, Lisa, you pulled it down.
Nope, just wanted a separate vote.
Okay. Do you want a roll call on this one, Diane?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve Council Business E, Resolution 2837?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion by Chad, a second by Ryan. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1. Council Business F, Resolution 2838, approving variances from City Code Section 152, 153 for tract. Are we, again, just want to vote?
And actually, I'll just make one comment kind of on all three of these. Obviously, I did not want the conditional use to be granted. Once it is granted in the majority of the council rules, then I feel my job is to make sure that these next three things do as much as possible to protect the interests of the city. And I think our staff and engineers and attorneys have done a good job on putting together, hopefully, agreements that will protect us now and going into the future. And I would certainly hope future city councils and administrations follow through and don't end up going backwards.
Yeah, I would just add to that and agree. We've been working on this. We've had many, many work sessions trying to ensure that we are doing what we believe to be the best thing. We have had our attorney, city administrator, our engineers have been working on this for 10 months. This isn't taken lightly, so I just wanted to add that and agree. Can I get a motion to approve item F?
So moved.
A motion by Ryan, a second by
I'll second it.
Chad. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nah.
Motion passes 4-1. Council Business G, Resolution 2839, approving preliminary plat for Cannon Falls Technology Park.
And just double check again, we did take care of the things the engineer had asked for.
Correct. Yeah, Bill.
Yeah,
Yes,
and-
or, I'm sorry.
Nope, go ahead, sir, please.
Yes, and actually, Diane, if you want, if you just recommend approval conditional upon those items being addressed in the final plan.
So I would recommend approval conditional upon those things being included in the final plan.
Correct.
And again, just to reiterate, so the last three, those passed planning commission unanimously, just for awareness. So you would like to make a motion
I did make
to
that
approve?
motion, yeah, with the conditions.
With the conditions.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion by Diane with conditions and a second by Chad. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to reports. Maggie is not here, I don't believe. Planning Commission, I mean, we pretty much went through everything, right, Diane? Okay. And then, so we'll go around the room. Laura, anything?
They broke ground on the next phase of Hardwood Estates today, so that's exciting. So we'll have lots available end of June. Otherwise, you've approved a couple grants. One of them, from Minnesota Energy Resource, the $4,000 will go toward amenities at John Birch Park for new trash receptacles, some new picnic tables, and hopefully since there's no trees left, thanks, Chad. We'll put up maybe some canvas shade sails or something. And then the other, the $10,000 or the $8,000 grant from SMIP will go toward our local foods initiative and kind of promoting that, and also creating some updating some welcome brochures for new residents of the community. So, that's it.
I'll just give an update on McDonald's again. Should be breaking ground on demo tomorrow. So.
A little bit of good news, thanks, Lizzie.
Thank you, Acting Mayor, is that the right title?
Just call me Laura.
All right, thanks, Laura. As Laura mentioned, we're breaking ground while we're wrapping up our other projects. Basically, we're just getting our projects finished for the winter paving. Jen will talk a little bit specifically about what we have, but otherwise, nothing more to add.
Thank you. Jed?
Yeah, we wrapped up all our mill and overlay projects for the year, out on the industrial park, and then our Mackenzie Circle, North Cape, Dakota Street, and the John Birch Park alley. So those are all done, they look great. We do have some potholes and some sinkholes that Public Works is working on, that hopefully we get some good weather, we'll take care of. And then we're getting all the trucks and everything prepped for winter. Yeah, that's all I got now. Thank you.
Diane, or no, I'll go over here to Mr. Chief McCormick.
Well, I don't want to cut Diane off. I did have a chance to talk with Maggie today.
Okay.
As you know, we're already mid-October. The next upcoming event we've planned with the Chamber coordination on some of the things would be the Trick or Trot. That'll be on Friday, 31st. I believe it's from 4 to 6, but it might be 3 to 5. I'm not positive, but you'll see information on it, I'm sure, in the Beacon and as well as their website. Of course, after that, we will get to Dr. Falls. And she is working diligently with the planning of that event. She was asking me some questions regarding it. So you may see her at a future council meeting talking about some of those aspects. That's all I have.
I was trying to see if I could see that really quick, but I'm not going to pull it up fast enough. So. All right, thank you. Sarah, you good? All right. And John?
I just want to thank everybody for their work on this project. It has been a long time coming to get to just the stage for this vote. I appreciate everybody's diligence in reviewing the process as we move forward. And there's still more things to come, but we are definitely putting in place the agreements that provide the protections that we need related to this development. It's not just by tonight, it doesn't mean it's going through without any sort of oversight. We will be monitoring this and improving things very thoroughly on this point.
Thank you. Diane?
One thing, I know it was a long meeting and we were focused on something, but one of the things on the consent agenda was the firefighters, the retirements, and I think we should mention that Kyle Rapp, 28 years, Ryan Pauley, 15 years, and Joe Stocker, 4 years. So our thanks, I think, to those folks for their service to our town and our community. And then I was looking through my notes and I realized it's been a long time since we heard about what's happening with the nursing home property, and I know that the council had directed, I think, our attorney to check into getting a response from them and fixing it up, and I guess I would like kind of an update.
Sure. The update is we have had sent out inquiries to the owners of the property and received no response. So we'll be taking some further action to address, to ensure that we get either compliance or we move forward with the other options that we discussed in the previous meeting.
Laura's got something to add to that.
I actually did receive a call from someone that is, I don't know if he's a real estate agent that's representing the nursing home or if they were asked to represent listing the property, but I've had a couple of calls this week. It's only Tuesday. I've had 2 calls with them, one this week, one last week, and was looking for some real estate agents locally that would maybe be interested in listing the property. So I did connect him with some real estate agents that now it's in his court to connect and see if anyone locally would like to represent listing it. Haven't told you till just now. Ta-da.
I didn't receive that information, so I was, thank you for the update.
Thanks for that update.
All right, Lisa.
Update for the trail, meeting dates were changed to October 28th and November 25th, back to Tuesdays for at least a few months. We'll see from there.
For me, I guess I just kind of, love working with Diane up here, and usually we have a really good exchange of ideas. I just feel like she's putting it out there, she's not really for the data center. I'll put it out there that I think we're doing this right. It's bring a lot of opportunity to Cannon Falls, and if we do it right, it could be a template for everyone else on how to do it. And we've heard how other towns are doing it wrong, so we can improve and we can do it better. So that's what I want to put out there. Thanks.
Ryan? I'll just kind of piggyback a little bit of what we were talking about earlier, and I know there are definitely voices on both sides. Generally, the folks that come are the ones that are against. I have talked to many of my neighbors, many of my constituents that are absolutely in favor of this. So I just want to acknowledge that I respect both sides. I respect both opinions. I've taken that into account, and I guess that's all I want to say. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Sorry. Motion by Diane, second by Lisa. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.